Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Christina here, and today we got a beautiful binomial that's being squared, and we must expand the binomial. Okay, pretty simple. Let's dive into it. Now, in this case, right, anytime that you're talking about a binomial, in science terms, medical terms, mathematical terms, bi means two. And if we're talking about, in the realms of polynomials, we got two terms. So if we look at what is in the parenthesis, I have my first term of P4. No, just kidding, Christina. 4P, right? And then I have another term that's just a 9, right? Doesn't have any P values here, so this would be classified as another term. So we got 4P plus 9, and this is all being raised to the second power, aka it's being squared. All right, let's expand on that, shall we? Expansion just means that we're going to take whatever is written and just make it bigger, right? We just basically need to rewrite this a different way that looks a little larger. And it all comes from the exponent here. Now, in this case, 4p plus 9 is being raised to the second. That exponent is telling us how many we have of the binomial. So how many you have. And, well, how many do you have? Yeah, you got 2, right? You got 2 binomials. So let's write it out. And that's the expansion. So here's my first binomial. We got 4p plus 9. Let's close up that parenthesis. And now let's do a new parenthesis of 4p plus 9. How wonderful is that? And I do not like that p. That's okay. Ooh, oh boy. Okay, that's better. 4p plus 9, let's close the parenthesis, and we just basically have expanded. We have written the same thing, but it looks just a little bit bigger. But now let's actually do the math, right? We have one parenthesis here, we have another parenthesis here. What's the operation that is being done? Well, I didn't put adding, right? I didn't say subtracting. They're in the same numerator if I put everything over 1. So it must be multiplication. Okay. So now we're just going to take these two binomials and multiply them by each other. And there are tons of different ways of doing this, right? You got the FOIL method, you have tables and charts that you might whip out, but I think we can just be fair. If you always think about fairness when you're distributing, I think that's probably the best and the easiest method to do. Mainly because there's going to be so many different, moments in your mathematical journey where you're going to have to multiply binomials or polynomials. And, instead of just sitting there and saying, okay, let's whip out this chart, let's do this, that just takes way too much time. So let's understand the theory and let's just be fair and we will multiply it that way. All right, so let's go for it. Now, when we multiply and we're going to be fair, we always do the heavy lifting on the first parenthesis. So if you run through its course and you be fair and you multiply everything with this term and then you multiply everything with the plus 9, you're done multiplying and then just simplify and that's it. So let's go for it. The first term we got is 4p. When we're multiplying, we are not going to be multiplying things in the same parenthesis because it literally just says addition. So when you're multiplying, you must take your value and go across the pond, across the parenthesis, to the next parenthesis. So I'm going to take my 4p and I'm going to multiply it by the other 4p. But this is where the fairness comes into play. Because if you take your 4p and multiply it by the 4p, who is left out? This positive 9. So you must take that 4p and multiply it by the positive 9. Basically, you must take that first term and multiply it with as many terms as you have in that parenthesis. So if you had 4 terms, you're going to multiply it 4 times. And then you've exhausted all possibilities with that first term. Let's do the multiplication and then we'll come back to the other term. So we got 4p times 4p. Do your numbers first. So 4 times 4 is 16. And now I have one p value here. It was p to the first. And I have another p for this one. So when you're multiplying Variables, you're collecting them. You could think about it in terms of collections. So how many p's do you have total? I have one here. I got another one here. That's 2 p-values. So we write that as p squared. I collected 2 p-values. So 4p times 4p is 16p squared. Now, let's be fair and go to the next one. Do numbers first. So 4 times 9 is a 36. It's a positive 36. So plus 36. This has a p-value, but the 9 does not. So you only have 1 p. So that just comes along for the ride. Now, once you've multiplied with your first term, forget about it. Forget about it. And go on to your next term. It's a positive 9. So let's just be fair. We're going to take that positive 9 and multiply it by the 4p. But who's waiting to be multiplied? The 9. So you got to take that 9 and times it by the other 9. So here we go. 9 times 4p. 9 times 4 is 36. It's a positive value, so plus 36. No p-value, 1 p-value, so this would just be 36p. It's the same one as this guy. And now we have 9 times 9, which is 81. So plus 81. Okay, let's simplify. Now notice how I wrote some of these in different colors, some of them in the same color. Because when you simplify, the variables only want to be simplified with the same variable. Since this is the only p squared, you can't simplify that. So that's just going to stay 16p squared. But now we have 36p and 36p. We can simplify that. Let's add them together. So 36 plus 36 is 72. So plus 72. Now, when you're adding variables, the p will stay the same. You do not say this is p squared. So when you add variables, that variable is just like a placeholder idea. So that's just 72p. And then plus 81. And basically, we have the answer. Oh yeah. So final answer, 16p squared plus 72p plus 81. And that's it. What'd you think? I hope this helped. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for coming to the channel. You guys rock. And I hope you're doing well out there. Keep studying hard. I'm always rooting for you in your tests and quizzes. And I love when you guys come back to the channel, send me a comment saying how you're doing out there. So I try to read as many comments as I can in my free time. Thank you so much for being part of the community. And yeah, my brother and I, we really do appreciate all you guys. And yeah, hope you're doing well out there. And I'll talk to you soon, okay? All right, bye-bye.